Baruch Hashem, it is day number 39 of our daily study of Rambam, Sefer, HaMitzvos. And we are continuing in the laws of Shabbos in our daily study of 3 chapters of Mishnah Torah. And we have a new mitzvah, even though we're continuing with Shabbos, we have a new mitzvah. And here it is. Negative commandment. Now it's a negative commandment. Number 320. Loi sase chol malacha. Do not do a malacha. Malacha we usually translate as labor. Probably it's more accurately a creative act. And let's talk about what malacha is and where we know it from. It actually is in today's 3 chapters of Rambam, where we're doing chapters 6, 7, and 8. So in chapter 7, it begins to go through the 39 forms of malacha, of prohibited labor or creative acts. Where do we derive those from? The building of the Mishkan, the sanctuary in the desert, when the Jewish people were in the desert, after they left Egypt, before they entered the Promised Land. So they had a temporary structure called the Mishkan. And whatever labor was involved in building that structure, that is what constitutes creative work that is prohibited on Shabbos. So what does that tell you? That tells you that during the 6 days when we are working, we are building a Mishkan, a sanctuary to Hashem. You know what the difference is, though? That in the wilderness they built one very specific spot to be Hashem's sanctuary. But the sanctuary that we're working on now is to turn the entire world into Hashem's sanctuary through using material resources for the sake of heaven and refining them and uplifting them and turning them into holiness. Instead of being mundane, we make them holy, and then we turn the entire physical world into a dwelling place for Hashem. That's a little mystical insight into this concept. At any rate, that's negative commandment 320, the prohibition against labor. That is distinct from the mitzvah that we had the past couple of days, which was the positive version of that. Remember, we had positive commandment 154, which was tishbais, to rest. So sometimes you'll have this in Torah where you'll have a positive and a negative version of the same essential commandment. In other words, they're both describing basically the same thing, but there is the positive and negative aspect of it. So that by resting on Shabbos, one is both adhering to a prohibition as well as performing a positive commandment. Okay, we're going to see you again tomorrow for more Shabbos, God willing.